Times were tough, so I sold my soul. And I don't think I'll ever regain control. Devil looked me in the eye and I looked the other way. What else could I do? I just stared at the doorway, knew I'd rather be drunk with you. I'd rather be drunk.
Hey Internet, Dracofunk here, and welcome back to my Reusable Space Program, Season 3, Episode 30, and we are launching fuel tanks, and if you're looking at the top right corner, it's not going quite as well. I don't know why. I have launched this exact fuel tank 9 times before and never had any problems, and now I am having all sorts of problems. The one in the top right is like consistently having trouble. Some things blew up in the top. The top left is having consistently trouble. Top right, something blew up. The fairing's stuck. And the bottom right, the bottom left only has one fin. I'm trying again at the top left. I'm not exactly sure why I'm suddenly having so much trouble getting these into orbit. Finally got the fairing cleared. Alright, the bottom left is in orbit. I don't realize exactly at this point. It's in a super eccentric orbit, and it's going to cause problems later. The one in the top left just randomly exploded when I cleared the fairing. That was fun. The one in the top right, though, is in the orbit I want, and I'm already attempting to land the booster. The one in the bottom right is in a very I'm trying to bring the orbit down below Minmus. That's also going to be something fun I have to do and try and get to. The one in the top left, I'm trying yet again. Okay, alright, we got one booster landed. The one in the bottom right is, you're going to have to, the booster's just going to have to stay there until I can rendezvous with it because it's out of fuel. It's really, really, really wide orbit. I still have ships with, some of the space trucks still have their docking ports stuck. So, here's what we're going to do. This is Space Truck 12, I believe. It might be 11. It's either 11 or 12. I've lost track at this point. This is a double-bodied space truck. It's fine. Just a little bit of trouble. The boosters didn't want to let go. Really should have used Separatrons. But I couldn't be bothered. I'm sending this up to a 200-kilometer orbit. The booster did its job, and now the space truck's on its own power. I should be good to get this in a 200-kilometer orbit on its own, and right now, the only job I want this to do is just to rendezvous with one of the fuel tanks. Well, that's a lie. I originally wanted it to rendezvous with 2 of the fuel tanks, but I knew one of them was in that way big orbit out beyond the Mun. I didn't yet realize how eccentric the other one's orbit was in. So, therefore, I'm just going to just going to pick up one, and I will send right there. This is where I finally realize how eccentric the orbit of that one tank is. And it's going to cost so much Delta V to fix that problem. It's going to cost so much Delta V. What I'm eventually going to have to do is send a space truck to fuel up, fly back into orbit, rendezvous with it, fuel it up, and then they're both going to have to go and refuel again. Now, this wouldn't... What I really, really wish was possible in this game is that I could land the mining ships and they could be mining while I'm doing all this other stuff. And that's just not possible with the way the game works. If it was, I'd have the mining ships on the surface right now mining while I do all this other stuff, because it takes days to do all the mining and gain the fuel. So I have to do one thing at a time, which means, and the reason I haven't done the mining missions are, it's going to take so long, I don't want to be interrupted by the ships heading to Duna. But I'm eventually going to get there. But the good news is this ship has found its fuel tank, and it's going to dock with it. I feel like I put way too many RCS thrusters on this ship. I designed each of these space trucks. Like, I didn't do it all at once. I designed them. Like, this one was probably months after I designed the original space trucks. And I wanted each space truck to be the same, but slightly different. And each of them has their own little flag. But here we are. This space truck has met its fuel tank, and I'm not going to send it to mine to do a fuel run just yet. Next step is to launch yet another space truck. Now, I want to talk to you about this space truck. So, I occasionally get curious, and I looked on the internet to see if anybody had done something similar. And Veos, another Kerbal Space Program YouTuber, did a series on space trucks, and this design is based off of what I remember one of his space trucks looked like. It is, and when I say based on, wait, come on, okay. When I say based off of, it's like I saw what his space truck looked like, and then a couple days later, I'm like, I'm gonna build that. And that's what I did. If he sees this video, I know he's going to yell at me that I did not put anything to keep the exhaust from cooking the cargo. And I didn't do it on any of the other space trucks either. And I understand why he did it, but I didn't do it because it's not part of the game, and we don't have those thermal problems in Kerbal Space Program. We probably should. And I mean, we do a little bit, but that's beside the point. So this space truck is going for the very, very eccentric fuel tank. And I switched to it real fast to make sure that it actually is the fuel tank before I spend all this delta V. Make sure I switch so it is actually named correctly. Because I'm using aircraft parts, sometimes these will be displayed as aircrafts, and I want to switch them to be displayed as ships. Now, I make a mistake here because this is a very, very long burn. And because it's so long using the nuclear engines, it doesn't quite... I don't quite get my plane aligned, and I should have checked that before I tried to do the rendezvous. And because of that, I end up wasting hundreds of delta V that I really don't have. Because I knew going into this, I would not have enough delta V to get this back into the orbit. Because even had I not made this mistake, it's a 1600 plane correction. That means even if I didn't have anything, I would have had just enough delta V. But to make the second plane correction, and this is after the rendezvous, I'm still carrying extra mass because of the fuel tank. I knew I wasn't going to have enough. And I just furthered the problem by wasting delta V. Now, I do not have the better nodes thing configured at this time, which I probably should have. So right now, I just know to do the burn about halfway. So like a 7-second burn isn't a big deal, but like minute plus burns, you want to start burning about halfway to that with the nuclear engines. And I wish I had remembered to check the eccentricity before, not the eccentricity, the inclination. That's the word. I'm getting them, I think I got those confused. One of the fuel tanks is in a very eccentric orbit. This one is in a super inclined orbit. And this is right here is where I noticed that, wow, my inclination is not the same at all. And I need to fix that and do the rendezvous again. And by now, like, this ship that had over 3,000 delta V to start with is down to 600, and I haven't even rendezvoused with the fuel tank. Garlon and Gregden, I'm sorry, you are going to run out of fuel and be stuck in this very inclined orbit until I can do a fuel run and rescue you. So you're going to be there for just a little bit. The good news is this space truck actually has another crew cabin in the back of it, unlike some of them. So at least you'll have that. There we are. And now what I gotta do is a quick rendezvous. Not rendezvous. Docking maneuver. We've already done the rendezvous thing. and I'm watching my monopropellant because this does not have quite as much as some of the other space trucks. But hey, we'll get the docking done, and we're gonna try and fix the inclination as much as we can. I know it's not going to. There's no way we're gonna have enough to fix it completely. And we'll come back. We're gonna launch some more space trucks and get some of these ships fueled. And my goal for the end of the year is just to get everything refueled. Hey, if you're the first video of mine you're watching, thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, like and subscribe. We were pushing to get 200 subscribers by the end of the year, and well, we are so close. Check out some of the other things we do. We watch movies with commentaries. If you like that, we do public domain movies the first Friday. Sometimes when the Lasso group isn't claiming them, you can watch them along with us on our channel. Otherwise, just get your copy of the movie and put on our commentary. And if that's not your thing, you have my Reusable Space program. And all the other guys here, Shaggy B, Scrodrick, and Vomit. But happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.